watching Cartoon Obsession. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. October is a bit of a mixed bag for me. This month carries some less than stellar memories, and my birthday is only a few days away, but one thing that everyone knows for sure is October is the month that ends with a holiday we know as Halloween. I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really care much for Halloween anymore. I don't dress up, I don't go to costume parties, it's just not my scene. That being said, I still enjoy a good Halloween special, and I haven't uploaded a list in quite a while, so I figured I'd count down my top 10 Halloween cartoon episodes. Notice how I specified cartoon episodes and not just Halloween specials. All that means is I'm only going to be looking at episodes from established cartoon series, no one-off specials or movie series. The reason for that is I might do a separate list for standalone specials and movies down the road. Also, one more rule for this list. I'm looking at episodes that either take place on Halloween or have Halloween as a story element. I'm not going to be looking at episodes that were just made to be scary or creepy because honestly, even as a kid, I never saw those as Halloween specials. One more thing to remember, these are my own personal choices, and if you don't see a particular Halloween episode on this list, it's either because I've never seen it, or it just simply didn't make the cut for me. Now without any further ado, let's get on with the list of my top 10 Halloween cartoon episodes. Number 10. CatDog, CatDogula. This one may be a bit standard as far as the premise goes. A horde of vampire ticks comes to town and starts biting everyone and turning them all into vampires, including Dog, and Cat has to get to the garlic factory to reverse the transformation. This kind of concept has definitely been tackled before, but the usual antics of CatDog and the other characters in the series are what make this enjoyable. I've always enjoyed CatDog's banter and Cat's character in general especially. This one's just a classic.
Trick or treat, smell my pits. Feed me chocolate, give me zits. Wreck my teeth, make me sick. Make me hurl a Halloween brick.
Number 9. Transformers Animated, Along Came a Spider. I can almost guarantee that this isn't on anybody else's list, and I understand why, as it's not your typical Halloween special. It takes place on Halloween, and you see Sorry, Bumblebee, and Bulkhead dress up and go trick-or-treating and whatnot. However, there's also an interesting psychological element to this episode that, honestly, you may not understand if you don't follow the story of Transformers Animated. Throughout the whole episode, Optimus Prime is haunted by memories of his past, which involved one of his former comrades, Alita 1, falling to a swarm of giant spiders. She returns as Black Arachnia, now a Decepticon, and she goes after the Autobots. This is a very chilling and haunting episode to a generally lighthearted but deeply story-driven series. I definitely recommend this one.
Oh, look at me! I'm Optimus Prime. I'm scared of spiders.
That's not what I sound like. Is it?
Number 8. Invader Zim, Halloween Spectacular of Spooky Doom. It shouldn't be a surprise that a series as dark yet comedic as Invader Zim is, that its Halloween special will get a spot on this list. After messing with his dad's gadgets, Dib manages to give new life to his imagination, which keeps sucking him into his own mind, and he needs Zim's help to defeat the creatures in his mind and stop them from escaping to the real world. The show already has a creepy looking art style to it, but I think it complements the feeling of Halloween very well. It makes the special feel even spookier, and there's still a great amount of humor as well. I also enjoy the concept, and of course, the dynamic between Zim and Dib. Overall, this is a fun but chilling Halloween special.
What about me? How do I get back?
Good question, but I don't care.
Number 7. Hey Arnold, Arnold's Halloween. On Halloween, you have the choice between trick or treat. What happens when you choose trick? Well, when the hot topic at the moment is a possible alien invasion, you get your friends together, dress them up as aliens, broadcast over the radio waves, turn the city's water tower into your own makeshift spaceship, and there you go. You put the entire city into a massive panic, and all in the spirit of Halloween fun. This is an interesting concept, and I'm wondering if this is where they got the idea of Drake and Josh's alien invasion episode from. Either way, this special shows how bad things get if you take a Halloween prank too far, and I think it does a great job of explaining the consequences. You can't help but worry for the kids' safety when you see them being hunted down. I'd say give this one a watch this Halloween season.
Either you grow a spine pronto and join the fight, for the human race, or I'll send you home to Mrs. Warts in a chocolate box.
Number 6. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Legend of Boo-Kini Bottom. I know what you're all probably thinking. What about Scaredy Pants? Well, I'll talk about that one later in the video. The reason I picked The Legend of Boo-Kini Bottom is because of how visually appealing it is. I absolutely adore the art of stop-motion animation, and I think this special does wonders with it. The stop-motion SpongeBob specials have a little bit of inconsistencies, such as why don't SpongeBob and Patrick need to wear helmets when they're inside Sandy's tree dome? But that's such a minor thing that it doesn't really bother me. This is just a really fun and creative episode that shows SpongeBob combating his fear of Halloween by treating scary things like they're funny, which doesn't sit so well with the Flying Dutchman, and he tries to scare the SquarePants right off of SpongeBob. I love the visuals so much, especially during the haunted house roller coaster ride scene, which clearly takes some influences from the likes of Tim Burton's movies and Jim Henson's Muppets. It's beautifully animated from the stop-motion parts to the little bit of 2D animation there is in the special, and it all just comes together and makes for a great-looking episode.
What do you want?
Scare and release!
Number 5. Regular Show, Terror Tales of the Park. There were 6 Terror Tales of the Park episodes during Regular Show's run, and they're all good, but the first one was always my favorite. It shows the guys at the park telling scary stories to each other, and there are 3 stories in this episode. The first one, Creepy Doll, is about an old doll that Pops has, named Percy, and it comes to life and has the strange desire to draw on people's faces. The second story, Death Metal Crash Pit, is about Muscleman and High Five Ghost finding an old RV, which is haunted by the ghosts of the band who owned it, and they want to drive it into the crash pit for fun. The last story, In the House, shows Mordecai and Rigby trick-or-treating, and when someone doesn't answer the door, Rigby decides to egg their house. The house ends up belonging to a wizard, who puts a curse on Rigby and turns him into a house to get his revenge. These are all really fun and interesting stories, and while I recommend you check out all of the Terror Tales of the Park episodes, this one gets an extra thumbs up from me.
Don't worry, Rigby. I'm here. I won't let anything happen to you. Huh. So this is what it feels like to be as tall as Rigby.
Number 4. Tiny Toon Adventures, Tiny Toon's Night Ghoulery. Tiny Toon Adventures is a bit of a classic, and this special showcases why that is. There's a lot of clever writing in the special, as many references are made to movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas, shows like The Twilight Zone, and celebrities like Gene Shalit. The characters are funny in all of the stories that are told, from Plucky's lawyer character to Buster's mobster portrayal, and my personal favorite is Babs' role as the narrator for the special. She makes the transitions from one story to the next enjoyable and helps the special move along smoothly. Each story is fun and full of your classic horror and monster movie cliches, which just adds to the fun. You'd be loony not to watch Tiny Toon's Night Ghoulery this Halloween.
Hey, Scratchy, as long as we're talking money here, I know a good slightly tarnished soul. I'll steal at only 20 mil.
I wouldn't give you 40 cents in recyclable cans.
Number 3. Codename Kids Next Door, Operation Tricky. In my show review of Codename Kids Next Door, I said how creative I thought the show was, and I still stand by that. This episode shows that by once again showcasing my personal villain from the series, Sticky Beard. Of course candy pirates would be out pillaging for candy on Halloween. While all the other kids are out trick-or-treating, Number 4 goes trick-or-treating on his own and tries to get the most candy, and that's how he comes face-to-face with Sticky Beard and his crew. This is a really cool way to showcase trick-or-treating, and it's nice to see Number 4 come out on top for once. Not only is this one of my favorite Halloween episodes, but it may be one of my favorite episodes of the show overall.
Oh, and don't forget to wear your tutu, pretty boy. It's cold out there.
Ow! I am not wearing a costume! And I am not pretty. I'm handsome.
Number 2. Ed, Edd n Eddy, Ed, Edd n Eddy's Boo-Ha-Ha. Have you ever watched so many horror movies that you feel like you're living in one? Well, that's exactly what Ed does in Ed, Edd n Eddy's Boo-Ha-Ha. When the Eds go on a quest to find Spookyville for some quality trick-or-treating, Ed believes that a jinx has been placed on them by 3 witches, which, in actuality, are the Canker sisters. But throughout their whole journey, Ed's overactive imagination gets the best of him as he thinks everyone he comes across is an actual monster, except for Ed and Double D for whatever reason, but that's a minor nitpick. I really like the way they illustrate Ed's imagination in this episode by bringing the kids' costumes to life, like showing Jimmy as an alien or Johnny as a giant spider. It's a lot of fun, and for me, it was pretty nostalgic as I always remember watching this special for the first time.
The monsters have been defeated, and the witch's jinx dashed. Lothar is pooped.
You idiot!
Before we get to number 1, let's take a look at some quick honorable mentions. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, The Shaving. This episode is ridiculous, which is normal for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but I really like the character of Willie Nelson and the hijinks that ensue in this episode. It's all just really funny to watch. Camp Laszlo, Hallow Beamies. When I was rewatching this episode, I thought it was kind of stupid, but that kind of stupid that's also fun. This episode is innocent enough, and it got a couple of laughs out of me. The Fairly Odd Parents, Scary Godparents. The Fairly Odd Parents was a very imaginative show in its early days, and Scary Godparents showcases that by having Timmy wish for everyone to actually turn into what they were dressed up as. It's a cool idea, and this is another special that gets a recommendation from me. Rugrats, Curse of the Werewolf. This isn't one of Rugrats' strongest holiday episodes, but it does its job of getting you in the Halloween, or Halloween as they say in the episode, spirit. SpongeBob SquarePants, Scaredy Pants. While it didn't make the list proper, I still love this episode to death. It's a classic, and I used to watch it around Halloween every year. If I wasn't being fair and didn't only allow one episode per show on this list, Scaredy Pants would have cracked the top 10 for sure. Now that I got those out of the way, let's find out what my favorite Halloween cartoon episode is. Number 1. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. I mentioned nostalgia with the last one, and it's even greater with Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. When Billy, Mandy, and Grim go trick-or-treating, they play pranks on some townsfolk and of course get a ton of candy in the process. Billy asks why people play tricks on Halloween, and Grim tells him the story of Jack-O-Lantern, a prankster from the old days who tricked Grim into granting him eternal life, but Grim decapitated him, which caused him to replace his head with a pumpkin, and he became a recluse. Of course, Billy runs into him, and Jack tricks Billy into giving him Grim's scythe, which he uses to wreak havoc, bring spirits back from the underworld, and vows to make it Halloween every night forever. He also wants to get revenge on Grim by cutting his head off. There's a lot of great moments and humor that's even brought up in 1 or 2 episodes later in the series. I also really like the subplot and running gag of Erwin trying to find a scary costume. There's not a single bad moment in this episode, and whenever I think of not only Halloween specials, but Halloween in general, Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween is the first thing that comes to mind, and that's why it's my favorite Halloween cartoon episode.
Trick or treat!
Very well, then.
Trick! Wow! My very own pet skunk! Hey, little guy, I'm Billy. He likes me!
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you think I missed any Halloween cartoon episodes, let me know your favorites in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, feel free to comment those as well. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Be sure to follow my social media links, audition for an outro, and join the official Cartoon Obsession Discord. The links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey everyone, this is Meatwad, and I just want to thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession.